Oh me, oh my. Is that the tree bro I spy? Also, I need to. I'm gonna do a 200 pull. Right. Get lost in the coding. So, what's up? How you feeling? I don't think I'm getting anything good out of this, but I hope to get at least Earth Olivia. Get gotcha out of the way. Oh, there's two. Alright, thinking about what to do today. Rotate is the only answer. You know it in your bones. Yeah, the chances of me getting either of the, even with their like boosted rates, the chances of me getting either of the SSR characters I want is pretty low. Just please. Just, I think I get like the enhanced mug frenzy after. I think we're guaranteed at least another five. But again, kind of dependent on our gotcha luck, which is not going to be very good. So it seems, I think we've gotten what, like three gold mines? Through this. Yeah, I think we only got like three. Luck isn't too good. This is why you never pull on like a regular banner outside of like free rolls because the rates are so dog. All just dupes. The boosted rates are a lie. Reminds you of Rage of Bahamut with the UI? Well, as it would happen, this is made by the same people that made Rage of Baja. Fuck. Sabina. I mean, it's a new character. Yeah, this is side games. This is made by the same people that made the Rage of Baja. There's even a couple characters in here from there, like Forte and Gray. The there's even what you call it? The DVDs, right? Came with codes that could get you characters in here that was based off of the characters from the DVDs, the Blu-rays. Edge. Our dreams will only be dreams. Right, Moku. Moku, give me like another 100 rolls, please. I'm begging you. Yeah, I think the JP version is still. Oh, I think that's a. Oh wait, no, I don't think I have a seasonal version. Oh, no, the last two. Oh, we still got another. Okay, no, this is the last one. Fuck. No, we didn't get anything from the boosted raids, bro. They're a lie. The boosted raids are. I'm so sad. Uh, they're on raid up. Like these are the two characters. I need both of these, and they're on raid up. But like we didn't get either of them, so kind of depressed now. Yeah, I think the Japanese version of Rage is still going. I needed her so badly. She's so fucking strong. Artwork as I'm looking at it. Yeah. Yeah, the artwork's like really similar. Play to collect characters to share with your friends. I like Pokemon, try to collect them all. Food. Yeah, Granblue I predominantly just play to collect the characters I like, and then if they happen to be meta, cool. Oh man, I'm kind of sad. How many tickets do I have? There's no. I don't have 60 tickets. Know that. Because today's the last day for the free pools. I have four. Do I want to do six, 10 pulls on this? I think I should, honestly, because she's really worth 6 10 pulls. That's what, 18,000? Yeah, fuck it. Like, Earth Olivia's worth. I need her. And I'm not sparking on Valentine's. And then there's anniversary after. Which gets us a lot of free crystals and stuff. I normally would never do this, but like her, like she's so strong. She's just so strong, and I have like the other characters I need to set her up. Like she's just too strong for 6 10 pulls. Like just pass out. She's too good. I have to start my timer, fortunately. But yeah, I think I know for a fact there's like I need to finish uncapping them, but it's like where is she? There she is. Forte. She's from Baja, so they've kind of done her a little dirty. She used to be like pretty potent, and then they kind of let her fall to the wayside, and they haven't really. It's really weird because they haven't released any other versions of her, and They gave her like one rebalance years ago. Where's the other one? There's also Gray. Gray and Anne, which I think are also from the Baja game. Yeah, there she is. Gray. Pretty sure she's from Baja. He's not gonna see anybody. Or I can get her stuff somewhere else. I really don't like the MP system in the game, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna let this do the full audit. Work on the coding. So unfortunate that we couldn't get Noir out of that because she's really good, but it be what it be. All right, get that out of the way. Honestly, if it wasn't because the Moku Frenzy gave me like 40 extra pulls, I wouldn't have sparked that because that would have been 100 pulls. 100 pulls is a little further out of my range than I would like. All right. So, make function to active, manually create new list, alter delete function, ask the user, ask the user if the file getting deleted is the intended one. Get one. Click down here. This one. Oh, that's kind of funny. I didn't even realize that. I was trying to see because there's a thing called class, right? The things that I've been learning recently. Uh, is the class functions and the I was trying to figure out like when I should use it for what I have. Uh, for like the side projects I'm doing, because like from what I read, it's a pretty like it's something you should really know and understand, and I like using them. And I didn't realize like, I'm just looking through the answers because somebody apparently asked this like back in 2015, which I only just now realized they asked this in 2015. And then some guy, like a guy answered at 2015, like on that year. He was just like, you know, it gets a bit over exaggerated, like how often you should use it, and basically, like, there's nothing wrong with like not using it if you don't need to, right? Uh, and then I didn't realize the other answers were from 2024. I was about to say this year, but we're in 2025 now. We're from 2024, and the one of the guys in 2024 was just like, please ignore the comment from the guy from like basically 9 years prior. This completely misses the point. And then that was that was December. That was literally a couple weeks ago. And like, the dude responds on like Christmas Eve. He's like, "Well, sorry that my PhD does." Oh my god, coding drama, bro. Where's my popcorn? I didn't know I was gonna start off the day with drama. I will say the only thing I don't like is from what I've read for the most part, the answers are a little vague. And it feels like when to make a class and when not to make a class kind of just comes down to experience. Or unless somebody like, whoever's giving you like if you're working for someone, they're just like, we need like classes that do this, this, and this. Oh, it seems like it's predominantly a case of mostly gaming. I don't know. I found a Reddit post that had people. I mean, it was still kind of the same answer of like, it kind of comes down to experience. Like, is the gist of the answers. But there was like four people that because the guy asked, he's like, "Well, what's a project I can use to be able to implement it?" And like four people almost back to back were just like, make a small game. So it seems like classes or something, probably more gaming related since it's a bit different. Anyway, I'll just like not worry about it for now then. There's another doc string. Playlist still has Christmas music on it, like the one or two songs. Okay, and then this is where I need to do a check. Probably just make like some sort of check function instead of just making this even longer than it already is. To be honest, I should probably just make this its own function. Because then I could also use it for manual searching. Yeah, I think I was like thinking that last time. was I was gonna like pull that out so that way the because I had plans to use that again to reuse that as like a function. Need to make sure this is. Mm, I think this is longer than my other calculator, but it has a lot of comments written in. There's at least like 10 or so lines that are a little bloated. Jamaica. We don't need this because we're going to return a list name. Because this list search is going to be used for other things too. I don't like that it's called list search. I need to change that. It doesn't really. It doesn't really. The fuck shape doesn't. I don't want to call it list name though, because then it'll feel like confusing for the variables. So it needs to be like list something, something that's not search. I call it list. Like list name. No, because again, I can't call it list name. Yeah, I can't call it list check either because I have the list check one. Oh no, that won't work. This does need two. It needs the year. Because this needs to be here. Oh, well, I should have returned the yes. Oh, wait, does it need the dot? Oh, I think it needs the dot txt out here. Oh, all right, now I'm confused. Now I'm like confused. How did I do? So where's my make list? New list. Do the month number, month, year, dot txt. Oh, I put it in the wrong one. Bro, I'm so dumb. Explains a lot. I put it in the wrong one. I was looking at the writing file one, which was the old folder I had made for testing this. Right. Like cast it as a... Okay, so that means in here, that should delete that. That should detect it. Yeah. So now, if I run this with delete file, delete it. Yes. Okay. So that works. So now Need to create it again. Which I should add in here. Okay, that's actually like really important. I should add in here uh a let me write that down. Yeah, making it so that it tells the user that it's made a list. And then the point hit. Sure. So now we run this one again. Say no. Yeah, that's what I wanted to test. Break time already. Good gracious. A little early for break time, but it's fine. I kind of forgot to put the timer when we started. There's gonna be a lot of just problem solving, trial and error at this point. Basically trying all the different pieces of the Lego kit and making sure they fit together and work. To be honest, to me, this is the fun part. I could see for some people how this part could get really frustrating, and trust me, I get frustrated too when something doesn't work and I can't figure it out. But it's like also the fun part, just taking pieces of the machine, putting it together, watching like the different wheels kind of click and all that, and then you're like, oh wait, why is that gear not turning? And then it's just like, yeah. Also, technically, it is a start of break time, so I'm gonna go run a quick. Maybe, I don't know, make that a better color or something. Oh, I guess I could just give it background. That works too. Boom. Yeah, I'm gonna go do a quick bathroom break. But yeah. Oh, yeah, it's kind of funny because now I've technically done two sparks of the year, but I'm not gonna count that second one as a spark. It made me want to cry too much for me to count it as a real spark. If I had somehow gotten like I don't know everything out of that I wanted without having to like do it, I probably would have counted it as a spark. But it kept just flaunting gold moons in my face. Rate up is a lie. Remember this, gamers. Rate up is always a lie. It's not real. Because realistically, I was expecting to get like Goblin Mage dupes. I also wouldn't have been sad if we got Dark Gandalf out of that, but we didn't get him either. So, oh, disappointed. We just got a bunch. I mean, like, I guess in a way it was worth because we just got a shit ton of gold moons. But I think I'm in like the 160s or whatever, so it's not like I'm anywhere near having two pick tickets. But I guess I'll just treat it as a building up for the next pick ticket, and I'll just have to be extra patient for my next spark. Well, I already stated I wasn't planning on sparking till the end of anniversary anyway, and anniversary usually gives us like a shit ton of free crystals and draws, and that's not including like what I'll get from events along the way. Because usually I only really spark like 3 times in the year, which is usually the new year for the zodiac, then anniversary, which is like half a spark because usually they give us like a crap ton of free rolls and then 100 guaranteed for one on Flash and one on Ledgefest. And then usually I'll spark again in the summer. Like kind of, so those are kind of usually like the 3 sparks throughout the year that I do. Now, the interesting part is going to be after next year. Because next year we get the horse zodiac, and then after that it, you know, reruns. They already have all the zodiacs in the game. So, and we don't know what they're gonna do. Like we don't know if they're going to maybe take the take like for instance Anira and then just like element changer, but then they already do the seasonal versions, so that doesn't really make sense. There's a running theory that they'll do male versions of the zodiacs because all of the zodiac characters right now are all female versions, which would be interesting. And even though I think we've been confirmed, I think it was Vajra's that the previous zodiac we like was male, like the spirit or something or another. I don't remember. I remember one of the zodiacs that was like, oh, so they can be male. Was everybody's like reaction? Olivia. You can put Olivia in this other one. I'll take out Goblin Mage. Goblin Mage's EMPs are terrible. That's probably like the one thing that'll hold her back. Like her EMPs are pretty bad. They gave her 4 skill damage ones. Like not even skill damage cap. They just gave her 4 skill damage ones, and it was like side games. Side games. It's like they knew that she'd be too good. I wonder if maybe it's because it has cap up in her kit, and that's why they did that. Because I can see you like getting. Actually, I do that. I can see you getting 2 of them, right? But like 4 is a bit overkill. I think they could have given her like I don't know, DA cap up or something, or stamina, something like that. Honestly, I don't like if I hadn't gotten Medusa on the spark, I don't think I would have sparked for Olivia. Because like while Olivia's really good, I don't think I would have cared. enough to like burn a spark on that. Like, well, not necessarily burn a spark, but toss the 60 rolls into it. As you just like you basically you never really want to do that. Like realistically speaking, if it's like 20 to 30 rolls, it's usually like fine, but like 50 rolls, they're getting a little bit much. 60 rolls is close enough to 50 that like, and with how much I have saved up, like by the time I even think about sparking again, it's not going to uh like I'm gonna have like 2 sparks saved again, whether through just hard crystals or with whatchamacallit. Just gonna pretend that that doesn't, or with like tickets. That's not including all the draw tickets that I have just chilling. And like if I wasn't lazy, I would have just gone and done side quests and just farmed up the last like 60 tickets. There were 60 tickets in the I guess I can just beat this up now. Uh there were 60 tickets to be had in uh the side things. Wait, is this, I can just subs. Subs in here instead of plus. Break time is quick summon is that. I think I had a lot on. Oh, I do now. You don't generally OG on this because it's like capped for OG damage. Got that run real quick. I guess I could do like Endara instead of Fedial. Would probably be better. Wait, who do I have in the backline? Oh, do I still have a song back? Do I have anybody in the back? I might not have anybody in the backline. What's up, Ziller? Oh no, I do have song in the backline. Song in the backline. Oh, because I was thinking of, because of with her uncap, I had been thinking about or her rebalance. I'd been thinking about uncapping her, but where's my process? Process my next uncap full limit break. Do you have any luck on your rolls? Get Olivia to come home. Oh wow, this grid's old. Still using Agonize, and I still have like 4 axes, so I can use my Halmal daggers. Alright, back on the grind. Get this code running. Okay, so for whatever reason, when I manually put it in, it can't find it, and I'm assuming it's because it doesn't have .txt. There we go. Yeah, it's because I first put the .txt on it. Yep. Okay, so Okay, now I need to make a function that will check. Uh, like basically it'll double check if the input is what you want it to be. Or like the name of the list, what you're looking for. Like one of the Discord and someone got both 000 no Logi and the frenzy, bruh. I'm gonna go mug him. I was copiuming for our Logia to come, but no dice. All I got was just gold moons out the wazoo, and then I think a Michael dupe, which I think will let me like fully uncap my Michael without having to use sunlight stones. Maybe not. I might be one off still. Old pulls threw enough for the classic. Back of there, grab Zeus. Good. The rest of the batter got nothing but gold moons, bro. Honestly, rate up was a lie. Like 100% was a lie. Like ignoring the fact that obviously like I was doing 200 pulls on just dog shit rates. The so I got like if I subtract the Moku Frenzy just from the pulls, because Moku Frenzy, you're guaranteed the 5. Uh which I got 5 in like 40 pulls, which isn't bad. For the fact that I sparked. I just finished out the spark. I think actually I could probably just check how many gold moons did it give me. I'll just like subtract 5 from Leviathan. Uh, please hold. We got 2. 3. 4. 5. 6, 7, 8. Considering the fact that we got 8, 4 of which came from Moku Frenzy because I'm mistaken Tabitha. Oh no, Moku Frenzy gave me 3 because we got Tabitha and we got Florence, right? Oh no, Tabitha. All right, no, actually, Mocha Frenzy gave me 2. Never mind. Actually, we got a good amount of gold moons just from the pulls themselves because these came from that. So like, yeah, no, and I'm pretty sure these came from Moku. Like all 3 of these. No, I think Florence came from the spark. I don't know. Whatever. Basically, like Moku gave me like at least 2. So 3 gold moons from that. I got like Yeah, everything else is just gold moons. Everything was gold moons and nothing on like rate up, basically. So I was like sobbing in a corner. I was doing so good with that. I knew I forget something. Oh, I was doing so well. I didn't drop the ball at all yesterday, and then today, two gone, two gone. Thank you for catching that. I'm at the base. I just realized I'm gonna have to rewrite the delete file function. Literally just made that last week, and I have to rewrite it to make it work with this. Oh, I have to rewrite this. Out of there, because we're gonna need to use it a couple of times. Because instead of manually writing the file name by hand, I can just run that, and it'll do it for me. Okay, so I need to rewrite this. I guess I'll just rewrite it in here. I wanted to like take it over. Well, actually, no. I think I'll do both. I'll take it over there and write it. Just 'cause it's a little easier. I could just turn this into a function. Actually, not crashing out. No capital letters. Proper spacing. potentially may be accurate. What's up, Jimbo? How's your week going? Gonna go fight Buddy also. Running low on thing to host the gay shit. Yeah, I've been trying to like remember to do that for whatchamacallit, Wemdis and Elweir for Diaspora uh Siete host. So I need to start doing the other ones. Especially for Mugen. I need to see if I can get that bow. Bro, I was looking up like hexa grids, and I'm just like stopping at every single one I can't do because either I don't have the characters for it or the weapons for it or both. It's pain. Pretty good. Went to the bar last night. I go to the bar, Jimbo. Bars are expensive for like no reason. Oh, that's fun. Did you go to like hit on the bartender? Was the bartender cute or something? Friend was paying for you? Alexa, play that bar song by Shabuzi. You kinda have a lady. Is his e-boy arc finally over? Is he free? Oh, is this tied to the last time where you talk about good news? Are these connected? What? You're capsing out. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, Jimbo. Nah, the caps came out. A full caps lock sentence. Kind of sus. Yes, I. When you were like kind of can't share, I was like, ah. Mm. I don't know, Jimbo. You were convincing me, and then now you went and went and ruined it. Went and ruined it. Oh, oh no, I have to do the opposite. I don't have to make a new delete function. I do have to completely rewrite this. I just need to make it and play it off of these. Some time before we call it official. Hmm. I see. Hopefully it goes well. As long as you're happy, Bumbo. I don't know. Wait that long? Oh, you've been working on that for a while. I have to completely rewrite this. Well, not completely rewrite it, but basically this needs to be in here. So like, we take this out, right? We put it in here. Then we take this out. And we put it down here. And on the list, check. It'll do that. Every time I like hit a step, I think of like three other things I need to do, and it makes me have to like rewrite the entire thing all at once. Complicated for a while. It'd be that way. Life be complicated. Oh yeah, no, that has to be. Oh, it's because it doesn't have the color. What do I write? Guess I could make it call itself. Well, no, but then at that point it'd just be easier to just make a while loop. But at that point, wouldn't I just be able to be like, wow, like just initialize check as yes up here, and then make it be like while check equals yes, runs through this. All right, and then we just take pop this out of the inner loop, like out of this else if loop. You can also pop this one out too. This one needs to go. I'm thinking about getting a yub. I hear those are good. I hear they bring in money. Probably a good idea. Someone also trying. That's the whole point I'm doing this coding thing. Well, yeah. Any any ideas what you want to do? I ranked 375 and I ranked 365. Both died pre 4 million honors in Agatia. I'm gonna gamble either they brought the wrong team or they were both trying something and then just went kaputs. Cause like for me in Diaspora, like I don't know what happens. It happens all the time. Like I'll have like an entire room of like 350 plus ranks, and like rank one will like the MVP, like they'll be me at like 4 to 4.5 to like 5 million honors. Then the person who usually takes it from me, which is like the MVP dude, will have like another 5 to 6 mil, and then second place will be at like 3, and I'll just stop. And not like high 3, like low 3, like 3.1, 3.2, and then nobody like overtakes them, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like you guys know you need like 4 mils, right? Try the convenience store since it's within walking distance. That'd be a good one, especially they need stockers and stuff, like people to stock shelves. There's nothing like work from home that you'd be interested in. Be like, wow, check. But I swear to God, I think you're the only person I know nowadays. There used to be another guy. Actually, there's a couple other guys that can make me go from wanting to pat you on the back to drop kick you off a box, like in record time. You're gonna go in and try to apply at the same time they happen to be looking through like old footage and then be like, wait a minute. Okay. Oh, actually, we don't need this one. He's a dude. Uh, so the other three people that joined also weren't attacking, so I had to finish. Yeah, honestly, sometimes I don't even know what the hell's going on when people join Revan raids. Like with Siete, that's part of the reason like I stopped that they're making that first sword was because like I kept having Sietes fail just because people just wouldn't attack. And like the second place like honor level would be so low that I knew that like they just came in, did like their little thing, and then like left. And I'm like, bro, at least hit the minimum, like for the chest. Like, what are you guys doing? Actually, fucking trolling. It's so annoying. This is like the same community that basically stipulated a unofficial requirement for like Diaspora that if you're newer, if you just unlock that and you don't know it, you'll just host those raids and they'll just keep failing because people just instantly join and leave. Though to be fair, that's a bit more side game's fault in a way, but yeah, it's kind of ridiculous sometimes how shit works out that way. What am I trying to do here? This check is list check, so it checks to see if it exists. If it exists, check is no. Hmm. I do here. Well, I don't know what I want that to do for the no. If it's a yes, I want it to run the delete. Oh, I can try. Let's see. No, I don't need to run it to delete here. I'm still like stuck in the mindset where that this is like running all in one go. I decided to split it up, but it does need to return something. In this case, I guess would be the list name. Because the delete would have to be in like the main block of the code, like in here when it's asking you what it wants, what you want to do. I'm gonna have to rewrite this whole thing basically once I'm done setting up these functions. Just win? How about you just stop? Fuck. Oh, actually, since you're here, I don't know if you remember what we talked about last time, but this is what it was. Do I remember which one? Oh, this one. Yeah, so this is what I was meaning. The way they had the problem set up, they had this set as a default variable of like an empty list like that in here. But if you run this like this, and you run multiple, right? So like if you make two grocery lists, when it runs this list, it won't run it on an empty list. It'll run it with the values that this has already like put into the list. Because it'll just mutate this list to have all of those values. So the proper way was you're supposed to run it like that. What is that called? That's just when you initialize the class object. So like for instance here, like when you just initialize the to do object for it and to buy, like that gets in. That's when it initializes. It should initialize as like an empty list because of the default variable. But for some reason in Python, since it's like mutatable, I don't know how it works in like C, but like so this is like the class, right? And so the object is to do, and then it has a method where you get to add to the list. For this first list, if you run add, oh wow, I actually died. Oh, I haven't seen my team die to that in a long time. Oh, whatever, it's 1%. Uh, for some reason, and I looked it up and I thought maybe I wrote it wrong, but it's just apparently that's just how Python works. If you have like an add, like something that'll add to like list, it'll mutate this default value up here to be to have those values added to it. So like down here, right, where it's like I like initialize this as a to do object, right, grocery, and I call it to buy, so it initializes the self name of buy. Uh, and then I add like all of this. When I make this object of tasks, the default list will no longer be blank. It will be orange, coffee, milk, pizza, coffee, coffee. And then it'll add make friends, be optimistic, study for exams, and sleep for 8 hours. Yeah, like even in other instances of the objects, if you have it like set in the initial variable. Like if you do this, it'll just mutate it. And that's just how it works in Python, apparently. Yeah. So in order to like actually make it be an empty list every time, you basically have to set it to none and then tell it down here that if none, make the list empty. And then that way it doesn't matter. That way it doesn't care. It'll just reset that value every time. Yeah, it was really weird. It took me an hour to figure that out because like the lecture, the first lecture I saw, well, actually the first two lectures I saw didn't say anything about this. And that was just how the like example was written. They were like, here, this is like the values we give you, like make the rest of it. And then when I like went around Googling it, now to be fair, I will say I don't know if that's how it always worked because the Python I'm running is slightly newer than the one that the course is using. So I don't actually know if maybe it's like a more recent change, but I don't think so because I'm pretty sure the Reddit post I saw was like a couple years old. And like apparently that's just how Python works. Like if you want to do a default value, like you that's a mutable object, right? So like a list, I think dictionaries are the same way. Then you have to initialize it as none. But if it's like an immutable object, so like for instance, if list equals 1, you can just initialize that up here. Or if it's like a string or something like that, it'll work fine. But as soon as it's a list, it just doesn't work. An attribute of the class. What do you mean? I don't die at the time team. I don't actually know why they died that time. I think it's because Shishuku probably like hit the reflect too many times. I see the vehicle would belong to every instance. Well, that's what it does. That's what this does. Like, that's what it's doing here, right? Because with here we apply it to self, and that's what this does. The self.items list. It makes this list uh the like the attribute. Like that is the attribute. The problem though is that for some reason, I don't know why. I guess it's just the way Python stores it to memory. Uh, if a like I say this, like if this is an issue. Let's see. I'll just like block this out. I guess I can just show it like how it interacts. Oh, it's oh that's supposed to be. Like it's a little complicated. This is supposed to be like tasks and by, but like you see how it's like be optimistic, make friends, milk, milk, orange, orange, pizza, pizza, sleep. Like for whatever reason, the way it saves in memory, even if you have it like as an attribute, like you give it a self attribute for it, whenever it, like whenever you add anything to it, if you have this here, it just mutates this on top of changing this. And I don't know why. What if I did items attribute from the instance you make? Mostly it's because like they don't want you fucking with the attributes for the most part. Like I guess I could make like a method to like create list, right? Where it starts with a blank list. But then I feel like that kind of just defeats the purpose. Because like if I don't do this, right? I like if I take out item list, I would just have to add like a method that says it would be like create list, which would be the same thing anyway. But generally for the most part, they just don't want you like fucking with the attributes. Like they just want you to like, well, not for some reason. There's actually a really good reason, but it's just like to just do it through methods. I just don't know why like it doesn't work specifically for like lists, because it works for strings, right? Like if I have a blank attribute, there's just a method for adding. I think probably because they don't say to do that because it like makes it longer than it needs to be, I guess would be the case. But like even if I leave like you're saying like just leave this blank, right? Like don't have it like just be a, I guess, none in here. Like well, because at that point then like what's the difference, right? Like why not just put none here and then put these two lines of code and then all of a sudden like it would do the same thing. Like I'm assuming that like I'm guessing that's why like they don't do that. That's essentially the same thing as doing this because I'm still gonna have to write a method later that like turns this into a blank list anyway. So at that point, there's not like a real big difference between doing that and then just initializing that that's a blank list in here by just putting none. Because like at the end of the day, I'm still writing this equals none anyway, right? So it kind of doesn't really like if I know this, like I could understand from a point where it's like we don't know this is going to be a list, but the whole point of this is that it makes a name with a list. So for that reason, it's like I feel like it's a bit redundant to just be like, well, I'm just gonna make self dot items like equals the item list without this, right? And just make it be none because you could do that, right? Which is probably like it is an option, but then it also means that I need to now make another method that is start list or something when I can just do that here and not have to write that method. That's only really going to be like this skips that method. Because now down here, I would have to be like grocery equals to buy, and then grocery dot start list, grocery dot add, like, stuff like that. And at that point, it's like you're basically just doing that just here already. Because like I could see like that being like an option if it was like, well, I know I want it to be a name, and in some cases this might end up being a string, and then this might end up being like a list of strings. And then you would be like, all right, we'll leave the second value as none, and then depending on whether you wanted it to be a string or a list of strings, you would like use a method for that to be like, all right, self dot items underscore list equals string, whatever string it's going to be, or self dot items like make list makes it a blank list. So at that point, you're probably like working with like subclasses instead, right? So you would probably just make a subclass that would have its own like initialization that would just override the self dot items to be like a string instead of a list. But like, I'm assuming that's why they don't tell you. That's why like they say just do this, because this is basically what you're saying, just less steps. Like, you'd have to call one less method and you have to make one less method. Screwed classes much in Python. It's different or something. I don't know. I didn't get to classes when I was learning like C# and stuff, so I don't really know the differences of how they work. I just know that this took me an hour, and it was not necessarily my fault. They were sabotaging. But yeah, no, I just thought it was interesting that it was like for listed. Oh, guess we're on break now. Because like, first of all, it took me like an hour to figure out what the hell was going on, because most of the other like there was I think after like 20 minutes, I think I spent like 20-30 minutes like googling it. But I kept just going back and forth between the problem and what I was doing, and like everybody else's response when I was like trying to, like, I was just googling how to set default variable for a class, like stuff like that, and like half a dozen, like almost all of them were just like, oh, well, you import this, and I'm like, that is not the right answer for what I'm doing. The list was being put in other objects being used as a parameter. It was being put in uh well, when you have a default variable defaulted to like blank in the like variable up top, that like when that gets when you do the add to, like it'll mutate that, right? So it'll be like you have list equals like blank, right? I list equals blank. You do like add to I list whatever, and you go, hey, we're gonna add like rock paper scissor or sick, whatever the fuck it is. I don't really feel like spelling scissors. For some weird reason, like, you said you make like, you're like, oh, this is going to be blah 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 I list best list, and then it turns into an object of like whatever I list is going to be is some list. You're just like, well, you're like some list best list, and then it's like you want best list to be like empty, and then you add like rock paper scissors for some weird reason. If you do that and then you go like, well, some list is going to be like worst list, and then you go, all right, add to worst list. I'm like skipping half a dozen different ways of writing this, and you go like water, fire, earth. It'll just, for whatever reason, it'll keep this list from the first time you ran it when you made the best list object, and then the worst list. Like when it makes the worst list as an object, it'll be like rock paper scissors water fire earth. Like, I don't know why. It's just, I guess it's just how it's saved in memory. Because like I tried like half a dozen different ways to get it to like to try to like fix it, because I kept fucking with it. Because at first I thought it was like the add to, the way I had the add to written was a problem because I was appending it. But so I tried like changing it like half a dozen different ways of being like, well, maybe if I don't append it and I just do like, plus equal and all that type of shit, which is basically the same thing, realistically speaking. Like everything, basically all I can tell you is that if you're gonna make a class in Python and you're gonna have one of them be an empty list, don't be the default variable in the Like, and you're gonna make a default variable, don't put like empty list inside that variable, like the top variable. Like put an if loop for it, or not an if loop, but like an if string, because for whatever reason it gets mutated whenever you add anything to it, and you have to like tell it to manually reset itself. It's just weird. I don't know why. Apparently that's just how Python works. Apparently there's a couple other ways. There's a couple import of libraries you can do to like make it easier, but if you're writing it like yourself, apparently that's just how it works. Oh yeah, I'm still on break. Slide variable parameters area. Hmm. I wonder if that's just how. I wonder if that's just different than that way. Oh yeah, no, that's like different, very different. How it works. Oh yeah, I don't know. In Python, apparently, when you make a class, right, you have like self, and then you can do like you like initialize in there variables that will be like how it works, because like when you work with it later, like at least the way like it works in here, it's like I'm just gonna count this up. Like when you go down here towards like you do these things, right, where you're comparing, like you're using a method that compares two of the same object, right? Like it just, I don't know, I guess the way it stores itself in memory just makes it easier. So for instance here, right, like I don't have to tell it much else. Like I don't, like it doesn't matter which, like I interweave these two together and it'll still like add to the separate list as they go with the way it's set up with just this, which is probably why they have it like all this up here. But honestly, I don't understand the ins out of it. I just know how this works, and that this. Oh, oops, I saved it to the wrong thing. This like threw me for a loop because it took me way too long to actually find out how to do this, because they didn't teach us this at all. At least they didn't explicitly teach us this in the class. They did it in the class on the follow-up lecture. They initialized something as none, and then we changed it. Like kind of like what you were saying, but it wasn't in the aspect of like a list. It was like, for instance, like a name or something. It'd be like the name is none, and then you would add a name later. Like it was basically exactly what you're saying, where you just leave the variable empty and then you like change it later. It's just for, I guess, for the aspect of like a list. It's just like if it's going to be a list every time, then you might as well just skip the making a method for it and just putting it in the initialization section. I'm joining Celeste 3 to farm it. Sort of copied that. I saw blue chest set up on GBF guide. I think I used that, like a scuffed version of that. Like I think it was like slightly different when Celeste first came out. But yeah, yeah, Grand Blue GBF guide has like some pretty good setups that sometimes are different from and a bit more fleshed out from whatchamacallit, from the wiki, which is kind of nice. Oh yeah, they had a different. There was another Carsour one before. Yeah, now they chopped down a lot on their. Oh yeah, the Sieta sword was the other setup for it that I had seen before the guns. The guns replaced two and in the open extract. Three katana in place. That's you gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, I do that a lot. Like I'll try to like flip it. I'll say like one of the good things for the that the wiki usually has over GBF guides is that the wiki tends to be a little um better at showing you where you can change to what kind of stuff. Sometimes the GBF guides don't have that. Alright, break time's over. I don't want this to do with deck is not. No, this needs to be find list because we're trying to see if we can find the list for deleting. Okay, we're slowly getting this to be written out the way I want it to be written. Team says December 11th was the last time you played Apex. Imagine not having played Apex on Wednesday and Monday of this week. The farm for the Watson skin could not be me. Imagine, honestly. Could not be me. Look, we'll all just blame Nugget. We'll be like, damn it, Nugget. Because Nugget's the one who showed me the fucking Watson skin existed. So it's her fault. I need my Ubis. I know I've been staring at the same piece of code for 2 hours, but I need them pressed. My source. Just trust me, bro. I don't know what I'm gonna have for dinner though. I don't need to cut up chicken, cut up sausage. I guess I'll just cut up sausage and use like with the garlic chicken from the freezer that I need to cook. I really want more pasta. I had pasta yesterday. I'll think about it. But I do need to cut up the chicken and stuff. All right, so now this is. I think this is done? Question mark. Oh wait, no, it's not done. I need to do the while loop for the name check because. Oh right, I guess I should grab the. Well, no, I'll just move these over here. Also, I forgot that Winter's Day was done already. I like logged in earlier today to try to do one more like snowman run. Oof. And then I like log in because I left my ranger like in Lion's Arch. Or not Lion's Arch, in Divinity's Reach, just next to the thing. I log in and I'm like, why does it look so green? Why does it look so right? No, honestly, like I had no clue until like I got in and like Divinity's Reach was. I was just like, what the fuck? Where's the snow? Where's the can? Why? Where's the blue? Why is it so green around here all of a sudden? I was like, oh shit, Winter's Day is over. With the axe in there now, it's fully solvable. At least like all of yesterday after we did the axe change. I'm pretty sure I soloed all of them. Like there still might be a couple of runs with variants where they might not be able to solo it. Like for instance, my Leviathan failed for the first time in like 3 weeks today. Which I'm not sure why. I should check. I should make sure the grid didn't get fucked with at all or something. I was like messing around. I was trying to set up an Earth sumo grid with like Fiorito, and yeah, that grid's gonna have to wait until I finish getting like stuff set up. Cause yeah, my sumo, I think it's like he's like one stack off every time. So he just keeps dying to the sumo meat. He just keeps dying because he's like one stack off by the end of it every single time. Because he just barely doesn't deal enough damage. Because my grid's kind of scuffed. Even with the Sky Piercer. Also, free quest Whamdis is a terrible test for it. Because in the Sumai meet, she just innocence drained Sumo and just instantly killed it for like, I think it was like 80,000 damage, like to the face. Like Sumo just died from full HP. And that's with like the increased defense. It cracked me up when I saw that. Alright. So this becomes this. Alright, that list exists. Oh. No, yeah, it's fine. I was like, wait, this doesn't have it, but that's just because I was gonna run something else. Alright. Oh, that's still the old message. Change that before I forget. Yes. Okay. It obviously didn't actually break there. Where did you break? Oh, name check equals name check list name. I don't have it. Oh, I guess I need to just put this. Wait, what the fuck did I do here? Yeah, this is for name check. No, yeah, it should be. Why is the list name not callable? Oh, I have. Okay, I think I understand what the problem is. Maybe not, but wait, no, because it's string object is not callable. What do you mean it's not? Okay. I'm gonna try flipping these, and then I'm gonna see if that works. Because I'm thinking that the problem is that since I have a function with the same name, it's fucking with it, and I can't really blame it for that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this might be the problem. Oh, got stuck in an infinite loop now. There we go. Weird how it worked on this one. Cause like this one, we just did yes. So we got here. So year check or check equals no. Check name. I'll check equals no. I'll name check equals. Why did it infinitely loop here? I want to see where it starts looping. Obviously, it loops there. Do you loop here? I don't think you loop here because if you do, Okay, yeah, no, for some reason it loops. Why? Oh, because I forgot to flip this one. Why? Gotta make sure you rename everything. Okay, I forgot to put the break. I knew I was forgetting something in there. Uh, oh wait, I need to check. Yeah, because it's while looping here. Wait, why didn't it find? Where is? Why didn't it find the file? Meals list year. Alright, so technically this works. Why not though? Why didn't it find it? It should have found it. I messed up something up here. Oh, thanks because of that. Okay, I found it. Yeah, it's because of the .txt. I can't decide. If we get another Revan's weapon ticket, I'll be tempted to grab the meme that is Symmetria for the option in Zeus. Is that the dagger? That people used to main hand a bunch. I don't know what I would get. I'd be tempted just to grab another Sietha sword, honestly. Oh, it's a katana. Okay, yeah, no, I've never. I don't think I've seen anybody. No, actually, I take that back. I think I've seen like a handful of like grids use it. Yeah, I don't know if I should make the list name have the .txt or just. No, I think yeah, I should. No, it's definitely easier to have the list name have it. Less things to write out. All right, so the plan here is in the other code have it have the delete like have a string for the delete thing. I have to rewrite like I'm like 90% sure I'm gonna have to like rewrite this entire block down here. It's fine. I was expecting it when I started making the functions. The garrison and small tempering on it. Use in place of a hand harp in instances where the extra defense is beneficial. I guess like if you end up trying to go do like I think the only thing that it would be used in at the moment would be what like Fa Zero and Hexa. Mm, I don't know. All I know is I need to get a team together to do a geisha. I need to start farming for that. Because Win did a video using their geisha, like their. Win's like Magna 3 Dark video. Like, I'm almost remiss to call it like a Magna 3 grid because the only Magna 3 weapons on it are two katanas and a glove. Everything else is like a geisha, souped up draconic weapon, transcended opus. What else is it? Ultima weapon, Cosmos. Like I think there's like three Magna weapons, like aside from Opus and Draconic. It's just like I'm like, is this really? Can we really call this a Magna grid? I mean, like I guess there's Magna modifiers, like Magna 3, but it's just crack me up. Reforged Dragon weapon ticket during the anniversary. Okay, get there's like let me at him. Come on now. Yeah, honestly, I want the. I'm curious how long it'll take for them to add like getting like a single hexa like material from like achievements or something like that, or if they'll add it to the page thing. I have a feeling the page thing is gonna turn into like a Valor badge thing for some stuff, right? Where it'll be like they'll add stuff at like ones and twos, and then they'll restock it here and there for like the super high level content stuff. That'll just they'll just make it like really expensive, like how even if you get all of the pages for the current event, you can't buy the fifth Ultima step yet. Okay, I think we're done here. This stuff. I need to like write the other block. I have to completely rewrite that other block. This is definitely better than before though, and it makes more sense because this is going to be something we reuse. The find list. This is something that's going to get used in the find list and in when you make a list. Um, the month dictionary is just nice to have, so that way I don't have to worry about people misspelling the months. Make it super easy. Be like, just give me a number between 1 to 12 for what month it is, and I'll fill in the rest of it. What else? Need to make sure that every function what's in before I. I guess actually I can just cut and paste it. Salty Dark Man that said Snake was trash was getting a Seattle ticks. He's getting 000. Can't believe this. Can't believe this. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, speaking of Snake, after using her, I honestly think she should have had 200% charge bar. Like after using her, I kind of feel like if she had that, it would make her feel 10 times better. Either that or some way to like reactivate Ogi, like Ogi reactivation, because it feels like that's what's missing from her kit, honestly. Because the main downside to her kit is that one, her 3 cuts the duration of her buff, and 2, you have to. It takes 6 Ogis to refresh the buff, and it's like, huh? Like it just feels really weird to use. if you can't just have and like for at least with Hall Mall, I don't know how it'd be with like with some different because like the lineup I used was like Dark Kengo, Lich, Snake, Hall Mall because I was using it on Chev, which that team can solo Chev like Magna 3 Chev. It did it. It was a little sloppy, but it did it twice. But like if the Kenga loop doesn't like keep looping through everybody, and it just wouldn't, like it would just stop. Even if I had Snake on like last position, like it's you just can't keep her buff up like at all whatsoever. And then it makes it kind of awkward because her 3 gives her instant charge. So that means at least for full auto, you can't use Sariel summon turn 1. You have to use it turn 2, which kind of sucks for full auto. And I just feel like, oh shit, no, we're definitely not soloing this one. Oh. Yeah, see, this is what I kind of meant earlier. I'm pretty sure there's still some variances for damage. Yeah, Raph in this fight like sucks because we don't Ogi. We'll just open it then. Yeah, we're definitely not soloing that one. I didn't see what happened. All I know is I turned and I looked and Ami was dead. But yeah, like I kind of like see like I still don't think she's a 9.5 in all honesty, because even with her downsides, in longer fights she keeps up with Lich. The main downside is whether or not you get Toxicosis past level 7. Because I was so confused as to why like she could keep up with Lich, because for some weird reason her Ogi deals less damage than basically everybody else. And then her skill damage is, well, I don't have both of the cap ups yet, but like a little underwhelming for like prior to it, because like Lich is over there on Chev, like Chev Aura, hitting for like 4.5 plus million Ogis and then hitting for like 10 million skill damage after every turn. And then like Snake is hitting for whatever reason like 2.9 instead of like even like 3 mil or something. And I'm just like, why? I mean, to be fair, my Lich does have like 11% CA, like Ogi damage cap up ring, but I don't think it's like that disparity should be that big. Like a 1 million difference. Like, I don't know. Her numbers feel kind of weird. Though once you get Toxicosis like up and running, he's a fucking beast. She's doing like 14 mil as long as her buff's active every time with her skill 2. Because it's hitting for like 7 plus mil every time. Or was I right? I was moving things over. I'm gonna say this is 2.0. Be easier. In case I had to like backtrack and get something like. Right, so that's fine. This is done. I don't need this. Did this one. God, what did I say I was gonna do? There was another thing I wanted to do. Um, we made something to look for the file, right? Find list. We have the delete function, which now just literally just used to delete things because honestly, it wasn't making much sense to have this wrapped in this because this can see use in other things. We have a name check, which we'll use in everything. We'll use multiple times, not in everything. Uh, dictionary with the months in it. I'm gonna check the year. Something to check if the directory exists. Like the big directory that'll save the different meal, like year folders. Uh, probably call that subdirectory. I probably don't even need to have it return the year because this one's not really going to be attached to a variable or anything. It's just going to be there. Uh, new list. Oh, this is the one for manually create a new list, right? Oh no, this one like oh no, this is the one it'll like automatically create a new list based on like what the current month and year it is. Right. So I wanted to make I guess I should make a function for that. But I'll probably just make it a function just because it will I think it'll like double the length of the new list one if I don't. Because it could just be like new list auto and then new list custom. Right? Right. This is for the case of if someone goes like yes, like we're in January. I'd say it's like it's January what 4th, and they're like, oh shit, I made something on December 28th, but I forgot to put it on a list, and then for whatever reason they just didn't make you know uh, a December list. They could make that, which would then just be running find list. Not me looking at like all the times I just took answer and just attached it to everything as a like every function as a variable, and now just sitting here being like, why was asked me stupid? Like I don't need this. Yeah, because it can just return. Yeah. We can still do the find list, right? Because it'll still ask you if it's from this year. Should I just run the find list one? Because it still kind of just asks you if it's from this year, right? Which the whole point is it's I feel like I should just get rid of the new list then, like as a function. Oh no, I could still use it. Actually, no, I still could use it. I just need to rewrite this because it would be like if year check equals yes, right? Like if a year check is yes, then it could just ask you. It could do a month check, right? Where you'll just be like, is it is the list for this month? And then if you say yes, it just runs the new list automatically. So that way it'll take it'll automatically just take the year in the list and then boop, make it work. And then if no, it'll ask you like what year is the list from, uh what month, and then it'll just make that and then return that. Eventually save up moons for an Urafist now. Oh, you're gonna run those? That's the fist that they use for like an Ageisha for Zeus grids, yeah. Or at least like or is that like there's like the sumo Zeus fist they use? I forget what setup I saw that people were using that. Oh, also, got it because I just remembered. I hope that whenever they give Ragaza his full limit break, they let him like reacquire that super like that fire Super Saiyan Crimson Finger mode that he had. I don't know how they do it because the way his like arms work now, but I remember the art for it looked pretty sick. It would be kind of cool. Just saying, side games. They're back to him. Yeah, so I just need to rewrite this to use the new list. We'll just do month check. Doesn't need to be an integer. Oh, I guess I could still save this because this could go for if it's no. Doesn't it call listing? The dagger of the rebalance they're doing to the lesser used makes it ridiculously strong. Yeah, I'm kind of curious how that's gonna pan out. Cause like I don't think they've ever done a rebalance for the gold moon weapons that quickly, like that soon after they released. Oh, Ami died again. Hmm. I need to double check the grid. I didn't fuck with anything on accident. I'm kind of curious how it'll pan out. I don't know. They could make it like make him extremely busted. I still wouldn't spend gold moons on it. I ain't that much. I ain't sweating that much. Especially if they're gonna be giving us illustrious weapon tickets like as time goes on. Who knows? Maybe they'll give us one for one of those in the future. 20 minutes until a lot of Hololive watchers are not gonna be okay. Oh, is today the day he graduates? Or is today the day the YouTube goes down? Or both? Or is there another one that's going down? Okay, yeah, today's the day. Yeah, I know. I was. What was it? I think my like Reddit randomly like was like someone had taken a snippet of apparently when like Fauna left the Minecraft server, and then it was just like oh sevens all the way down. Where was that? Working on this and like no, then it'll ask you this, then it'll make. So that should be. You finish your giant tree project in there before leaving at least. Oh, sevens in the chat. I don't know. I never watched a whole lot of Fauna. Mostly because like around when Sana graduated was kind of when I started watching a lot less Hololive. Mostly because I started doing thing. I need to rewrite this doc string. Do that later. There was another function I wanted to make, and now I don't remember. We have name check. We have uh delete file. We have the thing that we'll basically use to make a file name or list name. Which in that case, I need to rip out. Oh no, it's fine because it's a list check in there. No, I guess I need to take the list check out of this then, and then just make this something else. I feel like I should just like take these out and put them in something else. First twist from Celeste mid. Finally. Steps into a new era of Celeste Omega. Oh, I ran this test with Regado. It's even worse. Regazzo actually like nerfs this from just using Christmas Recom. Because like Colossus just takes reduced damage. I think they just put Regazzo in because they're like there's probably a higher chance that people have Regazzo than Christmas Recom for newer players. I think called name. Oh, everything's called list name. Uh, I guess it would be like make a list or something. No, what should I call this? I can't call it list name. It'll fuck with the variable. Oh, name list. Why is that a good habit? Oi, oi. Like in like what 2 weeks or something, that struggle ends because cause then it'll just be well. Actually, make Gabriel like I should probably make sure Gabriel's max and like there you go. But yeah, once Xenococcus or Exococky, once the Exocock comes back around, I'll get his gun. We'll get whatever new weapon it is. Hopefully, it's like a decent main hand. Even though I don't know for what weapon type it would be. And then, you know, Street King shenanigans will be live. Like some of us, we got to make ends meet over here. Don't judge me. Like I like this better for just like making a list name. Wait, doesn't new list like make list though? It does. That doesn't work then. I'd have to like split this up. Like this would have to be its own thing for make list. Kind of like what I did for delete. Break time. Break time. All right. What if? Hear me out. What if Xeno Kogatus's new weapon is a fist for water sumo shenanigans? Imagine. Imagine. That's because I can't think of another weapon type that would be like useful for water. Mostly because as long as they keep following the trope, we know it's not going to be a staff and it's not going to be a harp. So I feel like the only other like decent weapon options that might that might open up some new like angles for classes and stuff would be like an axe and maybe a the glove, like the fist weapons. Even the Leviathan axe is pretty good. 20 daggers in second tona from Celeste at a singular dagger drop, and then enough for building a single fist. I think, yeah, I think I have way too many daggers and katanas, and then I've only ever gotten like 4 fists when I was like hard grinding it for Guild Wars, and then I saw like way too many, way too many builds that were like, yeah, we just run 1 fist, 2 katanas, and I'm like, say less. Granted, I do have a Kengo team I want to try using Goblin Mage and like Summer Serial and Summer Horus to see if like they can manage it. It's just I think like I'll probably have to replace Serial with Tico, but my light Tico is like level 40. He's just not leveled at all whatsoever. Oh, that's a lot of damage. I'm just so glad that the tier list like saw what I saw in like Goblin Mage. She got a solid 9.7 in light. Pretty good. Pretty good. I called. I was like, if they see what I see, that's gonna be Goblin Mage. I think it was low key one of the winners from that banner. I think a lot of people kind of just glossed over her because they're like, oh, it's a standard light character, and there's Raphael and Snake. But when I like read her kit, I was like, she seems pretty fucking good, especially in the current state of light where they're in an Ogi loop setup. Pretty good. Pretty good. Brings a lot of debuff, synergizes with Horus, brings a dispel, brings a delay. I think she also clears. Like it's either she either dispels or she clears. Does she do both? I don't know. I just remember seeing her kit and being like, her kit does a lot of things for a standard character. And her numbers don't seem bad at all. Yeah, she clears. There we go. She doesn't dispel, she clears. Yeah, she clears on Ogi. She delays. Oh no, she does have a dispel, right? It's the one. So basically, after you get her 3 stacks, she just dispels and delays every turn after she Ogis. That's insane. The only downside is her EMPs. Those 4 skill damage ones, like just regular ones, are kind of weird. Like I know she has boost to skill specs based on the shining thing. She gets like 15% skill damage cap up, but like couldn't replace 2 of them for like crit or something or stamina something. Oh, her end of turn thing was activation based, not number. I mean, I guess technically it's still kind of like the same thing. Oh no, it's actually better because it means she gets like 20% charge bar on the end of a turn. Oh my god, that's disgusting. What the fuck? That's gross. Holy shit. Yeah, that's a completely different story. Yeah, her passive on the English was like uh wrong. It states that it increases the hit count, but it actually increases how many times it activates, which means you get, which is a pretty big deal in the fact because it gives you 5% Ogi bar every time it activates. So like once she's at full stacks, which in an Ogi team will probably be pretty quick, probably like turn 5, turn 6 at the latest. She's just getting 20% every turn. That's kind. She's pretty good. It's definitely one of the few times there's like a banner that has like limited characters, like new limited characters with the standard character. And then I get the standard character and I'm like, I'm okay with this. Yeah, I also now have, ooh, I have Olivia. But I don't know if I can do the Medusa setup before having Yugu swords, like multiple of them. Because every time I've seen the like the the Medusa lineups, with, like Medusa, Olivia, Uriel, etc. It's always been I've always, well, I mean, like you don't run Kame because you want all of the primals for Medusa's buffs. I just have to figure out like how I'd want to run her because I feel like she kind of wants to be run with Yugu, but because like Uriel doesn't give her a buff, and then Olivia's buff I'm just gonna put on Uriel. I don't have Summer Raziel. I think Summer Raziel is like her best energy. I don't think Olivia has like a team wide buff. No, Olivia's just the person next to her. And I don't know if like Grand Medusa is better to pair with than Uriel for that. Like I know she's rated higher than I was expecting when I was looking at tier lists. Yeah, because the tier list had her at like 9.8. That's a lot higher than I was expecting. Break time's over. Final stretch. I didn't even try to put break time on this time. My brain's so out of it today. I've been slacking as a streamer today. That is my bad. Oh no, sleep's been kind of bad these last 2 days. To be fair, I went to sleep kind of late last night. Okay, so for sure, I'm just gonna make a make list function. Wait. Oh wait, shit. I can't break because that's outside of the loop. Oh, I guess that's why I was returning something. Right. I didn't actually accept that. Brain kind of dipped a little bit. I'm actually curious if like the Street King setup would be able to solo it like my Kengo setup can. Like obviously it's just swapping the katana for the gun. So I don't really need I don't have to like try to figure out what weapon to drop for it. It's just I mean I'm hoping that like Gabriel, because the problem is like I have Gabriel but not Europa, and I think he would want Europa. But I think Yatima probably like would be fine. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. We'll find out when the event rolls around. Okay, so we have the make list. Then we have the name list. Well, technically that's find list. That will then be turned into name list. To be honest, I could probably do this in the. I could probably just put that in like list check, right? The print. It's like if it's there, return yes. If it's not, you know, file not found in your folder, and then it still returns the no, which then in the wherever it's like pulling it to would then like loop it. That probably works out better. So it'd be like grab that, put that there. I would still probably want it to check like in here, so that way if like check the list or like it checks for the list, and if it already exists, it goes it returns yes, and it tells you it goes list with that name already exists, and then it would just loop. No, because then if I have it here, then it's gonna print this message when it prints no here, but I want this to be no, so that way it'll make the list. Hmm. Trying to debate whether or not to turn this into like a class. Because like if I make it a class, what would I even do to make it a class? Well, I guess it would still be like list check object, right? But it's like, would it be worth making that a class? Because I'd still have to write the function anyway, right? Because what I'm thinking is like just making a function that basically just prints this. But I don't really think we need this. Because I think I should just put that in like a find like this, right? Like I was thinking of just deleting this, but I think I'm gonna like actually just make this a find list function, but I don't really think that's needed either. Because like the list check function is a find list function, right? Like it looks for the list to see if it exists. So therefore, why would I make a second one just to have a print message? Like it'd probably be better if I just went mm, because I'm trying to avoid having a because like I can think of a couple different scenarios where I'd have to rewrite this print statement. Like if you're looking for a file to write to it and it can't find it, needs to print that. If you're looking for a file to delete, can't find it, it needs to print that. If you're looking for a file, if you're trying to make a new file and it's already there, that one's not too big of a deal because in that function I can just write it. Oh, I guess I could just put it in the function, right? This doesn't need it here. Like in the other functions, right? Just thinking about it now. Like this will just return no, and then in the delete file, right, we'll just have it like list check. With the year and the list name. And so the check equals this, and then if check equals yes. Because I don't have to lower that because it'll always like do what I tell it to do. It'll do this. Oops. And then if no, it'll just print the list. It'll be like, well, the list named whatever it is was not found in the. Well, I guess I'll probably do like folder year. In the folder, whatever the year is. And that should be fine. The name check. And it's in the other. Oh, that's fine. Hmm. Uh, that should be it for that, right? Because basically, once I'm done making all of these, is when I then have to make the functions for like writing to a file and reading the file. That's gonna take probably another fucking week of getting it done. And then once we're done with that, I need to look into packaging file. And then once we're done with both of that, I need to go and do that to the calculator. Though in the calculator, I'm debating whether I should do a file or just look into one of those. I remember taking a curious look on Google and whatchamacallit? Uh, I saw something that was stating that there's a couple ways to get like a free domain. I might try to like put the calculator on there somehow, right? Like I think I'll do both, like make a package of program for it and like try to do that so I can get some experience on setting up a website. Because at this point, like everything, like every little thing I do is like it's just helpful. It's experience. I can put it on a fucking resume, throw it at people until one of them hopefully calls me back and be like, "Yo, we see what you're doing. You like to take this test to see if we'll hire you." I'd be like, "Thank you." Um, okay, this list check is definitely That's also done. Because the point is what I was kind of saying earlier is that if I go down here, wherever it's like continue, uh, yeah, like I've basically like this entire block down here I have to rewrite completely because of the way I have the function set up, like this doesn't work anymore. Some of it probably will, but like for instance, up here will be fine because this is just like when you run the program, it's just asking is like, are you like is the program in a folder that you can easily access the like the folders and the lists being saved? And if yes, then it continues. If no, then it says run the program when you need me, when needed. And then like that'll be fine. But everything else in between, I'm like 90% sure I need to like change like rewrite this entire thing. Because basically, like even though it I have to rewrite the print, like I can't think of. I don't really want to make a function that just prints one line out because I feel like it's just a waste. But I also can't think of a way to. Well, actually, I mean, I could write it inside the functions, right? Like it's kind of like that weird thing where I'll probably have to rewrite it multiple times, but like it's not necessarily a bad thing. I have to rewrite this again. Already tell. I've rewritten this block of like this function like I think 5 times today. Because basically it would be check name is this, then it would be like check equals check with year name check equals yes. It would print list. And then sorry, if check no, then you return the list name. And then it would be the thing that I had earlier. Like basically I just like oh, rewrote it just for no fucking reason. Or I deleted it just for it's still shorter than it was. That's fine. Mm, I mean, do I want it to keep looping through that though? Because like if I wanted to use this to like search for the list, well, no, I should probably just tie it to the list check, shouldn't I? The messages. Just be like, if it's there, return, you know, uh, list. The list name was found in the folder year, and then if and then returns yes, and then the other one will print the list name was not found in the folder year, return no, and then the rest of it will just run. Yeah, I think that's better than just trying to rewrite it in every single individual function that it's going to be useful in, and it kind of just doesn't make sense in this case. AKA, I don't like it, so it's not going to be in here. Basically. Watching it, the four Levy Dagger Rookie build with Filey and Makula for Colossus on the wiki is pretty strong. Yeah, I'd figure. Is that the one that has the? It uses. Does it use the Gabriel dagger in there? Like honestly speaking, like if you have those three, like that's an incredibly like they deal a lot of damage and a lot of and they have a lot of survivability just because you have a rookie who'll be tanking things, and then both the rookie and Makula heal, and then you're just chilling. Honestly, Celestial dagger. Imagine having that. Could not be me. But yeah, like it's a pretty solid team, honestly. Like water right now is probably the most. I'd say it's like the most flexible element in regards to you can make a full team with just standard characters and you'll be fine. Like if you get the right ones, and then you have like a grindable character. That's pretty good. Cause like even say you like subticks twice, right? Or say like you start now, and so you have like the beginner surprise ticket, and then you have like your own, and you just get like Phylene and Makula. You grind for a rookie, you get some Leviathan stuff set up, you're chilling. Obviously, like you can hit other stuff, but you can probably solo most content in the game with that. In all honesty, like they'll dish out a bunch of damage. Oh yeah, there's the Cosmos. Because you'll have like three characters glaciating, and just finally it's just gonna be skill casting out the wazoo. Like it's yeah, it's pretty solid. Pretty solid indeed. All right, so this is gonna stay like this. Going down here. Oh, not gonna stay. Obviously, that shouldn't have changed. And then with the list, with the name list, with the when that returns, you can just have it check outside with the function wherever you're at, and then it'll just tell you. Where did I put the other? The delete file. I think this one's fine, honestly. Because I mean, what else would I make it do? I guess I could just make it not do anything, right? Like just get rid of the check equals no. And then just have the list check be like, there's no file there named that. To be fair though, it's arguable whether I should have delete file even check that. And not just have like the code, like the actual block of code. I feel like I should just not have this function check. This function should literally just be for deleting the file. And then just have like the actual code itself be where I call for list check. Because then back there I can have it loop just fine. Because the main issue I'm running into is that like if this returns as no, where it's like, hey, there's no file here, like I still want it to loop something. So in case the person's like trying to find things, and at that point, like I might as well just have it. Like that's probably something that I need to do in like the main body, in, like the global scope. Just put past there for now. Because then this makes sense, right? Because if I have it do the list check outside of the function, which is probably the same thing I should do here, I could then have it loop the function call in the body itself. So that way it'll it'll like thin this out some more. Or make it more readable. Because the while loops will still be different. Oh, decisions. Because it's like, what do you do? You can make it like in the body itself. It would be like do name list, right? It'll run name list. Name list will return the list name, and then after that, you will have it run list check, right? It'll do a check, and then you can attach it to yeah, actually no, that's probably the best way to do it, right? So it would be like here, get out. So and like in the main body, you'd have like a while loop, or you'd have like the check, right? You'd have like the check, which just runs the list check. Then you have a while where if like say you're trying to make a new list, right? You run new list. You know, it just is like new list year. Runs that. It would be like a list name equals that. Returns the thing. Does a check, which we would probably call it like name check or something. In this regard, like I'd probably call it name check for one, list check for the other, or even just name check for both. Probably doesn't really, might not, might cause conflicts, might not. Then it'd be like name check equals list check of like list name, right? And then in here it would be like while check no, it would be, this would have to be inside the while loop, right? So you'd have to like put this in here. You do like check equals yes, while check is yes. Do this. Then while it runs you do for the list name, it calls down the new list function, right? So or no, not new list, it's name list. It calls down the name list function, which inside has the new list function, which will just automate things if it doesn't need it. Once you have that, it'll then return the list name, which will be put here, which will then call the list check function, which will assign to name check. So name check equals yes. This is why I'm thinking that probably not to have it be like have one be like name check, have the other one be list check to see if it exists, right? And then while name check equals yes, it'll it'll print from the list check function itself, right? It would be like it exists. It'll tell you the list that you're making exists in the folder you're trying to make it in, and returns yes. So then while this is yes, it'll loop. Now the issue here is see, this is where I have like the issue with the thing, because like this is because if I do it the other way around, like if I say like because I want it to say no, right? Because if it does no, it breaks out of the loop. The list name then gets passed on, right? And then but then what'll happen is that if it says no, it'll be like, all right, the list name that you're trying to like that you're naming it was not found in the folder, but then it'll make it, right? Because then you pass it on to new list. Oh wait, no, new list is there. Or make list, right? Because we made the make list function. Somewhere over the rainbow. Pretty sure I made that. Pretty sure that wasn't a fever dream. Yeah, make list. right? Which will then just be like make list is with list name. But the point, like, this is the issue I have, where I think like it's probably better if instead of having, like, this is what I was mentioning earlier, where instead of having it say in the list check itself to print this, right, it would just print that in the loop. Like, you'd just do like if name check yes, it just prints this, right? So that way, like, while you're going, as long as it says yes, it'll be like, hey, this is like, you're trying to make this here, but it's already there. Because the point is you don't want it to, uh, when you're making a list, right? You don't want it to overwrite the list they're making. Even though technically in this case, it'll just, like, you can't really do it. It'll, I think it, like, it gives you an error message that something's already there. If you tried, I don't remember. I'd have to like restudy that. I don't remember if it'll overwrite it or if it'll tell you that there's already a file. Like, it'll like break the code and be like, there's already a file, I can't make it, kind of deal. Depending on which one it is, will also dictate what other functions I need to make. But so that's like what I was thinking was do this, so then it makes the list as that. And then if you do for delete list, right? When you want to delete a list, you just go and then it's like list check equals no. While list check equals no. It'll then do the same thing again, where it'll ask you for a list name. It'll pull the name list function, pass the year into it. It'll then, once you're done with that, it pulls it out. It will then name check the list. Well, it'll do I almost see I started like autopiloting. We'll assign to list check the check list function again. Not plus equals. Come on, Melo. With the list name. And then there it's a case of, if list check if list check equals Mellow, please, brain. No. It'll then print the no statement here. And then keep looping. And then once it does that, you just run the delete list function once it's done, right? Yeah, delete file. Probably should call it delete. Well, I mean, I don't think it really. Probably should just call it delete list. But then you'll just run the delete on the list name. Even I think this one also needs the year. I think both of these need the year because it uses the year for the pathing. I was honestly tempted to just make a function for the path, but it's kind of different depending on like what you're doing. I feel like that was when that rewriting it was fine. I need to make a files list function that basically does this, but it'll do it for the year, right? And so in the year, it'll like when you add the year, because like this will tell you in meals list like how many folders you have, right? So like say you've been using this like 2 3 years, and you're like, how many folders do I have? Like have like maybe someone could be asking you, be like, well, how long have you been using it? Well, after using it for a while, you're like, if you can't remember exactly, you go, oh, I don't know, that's a good question. And say you're too lazy to go to the folder and just look, you just fire it up and you go, all right, you just navigate to the directory list to be like, all right, how many like what are the folders in this folder in this directory? And it's like well, technically it's like what subdirectories are in this directory, and it'll be like, all right, here's 2023, 2024, 2025, like these are the folders. So that's what this one does. Now I need to make another one that would be like a file list where it will go, it'll take a year, and then in that year it will it would ask you what year, like if you're going to run it, it would be, it would ask you, it would probably still take a year argument, and then for a year it'll be like, what, like I might do it like the other one where it's like, is it for this year? If yes, then you don't have to worry about it, it'll just take the year and go through it. If no, it'll ask you what year you're like looking for the folder, and then from there it'll show you like what is in there. It's kind of like what I'm thinking. To be honest, am I making this more complicated than it needs to be for like who's going to use it? Probably, yeah. But at the same point, like the whole reason I'm doing these is because I'm trying to like, ingrain the like how to do this kind of stuff. As it was always said, better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So better to have the skill and never really use it than to need the skill and never really have it. So a lot easier. A lot easier around doing stuff. Yes, I think the path one is fine. Because even though it's kind of getting rewritten, it's also being different in most of the instances. The only instance that it's not is like make list check. That might be one that I make a function for, right? Like just make a function for file path that it'll be for the path for the file, and then it pulls the year and the list name, and then makes a file path out of that, and then just returns that. Because I think I write that like 3 times already. Yeah, 3 times. Yeah, 3 times warrants making it a function. For sure. For sure. But yeah, so like this is kind of what I'm thinking, right? Like in the block of code itself to do this, it's just that the caveat will be if you're like searching for like, for instance, if you want it to be like if you get no and you want it to be yes, it would be like when you're searching for a file to open, right? It would still be like file check. No. Like you still basically just pull this whole loop. And then you would have it print this again, right? And this is why I was like, maybe I should make that a function, but I feel like that might be a little overkill. Mostly because I can't really think of other ways to do it. Like I feel like what I get from is like there's like too many variations, I feel, for how to do it. Hmm. Because for making a new list, you obviously don't want it to exist, so it needs to tell you if it exists. When you want to delete a list, you want it to tell you if it doesn't exist. When you're searching for a list, you want it to tell you if it doesn't exist. Because if it does exist, you just want it to open. What else? Well, actually, to be honest, I think that's the only three like caveats for it. Right? Making a list, deleting a list, and then just looking for the list. Right? Because looking for the list then has like the sub operations of, well, technically, even looking for the list is really the only other one, right? It's either making a new list or looking for the list. Because looking for the list then has like uh sub operations of deleting the list, reading the list, writing to the list, right? Like all of which the reading and writing to the list kind of get covered by the searching for the list one. The delete a list is kind of like the only one out of it. Though in the end, well, no, because not really, because I think like in the original attempt, it was like you want to read, write, delete. Yeah, read, write, delete. So technically, it would kind of be like this is like a little side hoe kind of deal. But this is kind of like a sub for this, which means this doesn't need it then. Actually, like actually thinking about it, this doesn't need it. Which then means the argument is only two, which then means I don't need to make a function for it. See, this is why you write things out. When you're really confused and there's a lot of shit going on, write it out. Put it on something in front of you. Write it on a whiteboard, piece of paper, notepad, tomato, tomato, potato, potato. You put it down, you kind of like reiterate it a couple times, and then at one point you either go, man, I'm smart, and then you do it, or you go, I'm a dumbass, why am I doing this? Which was that, right? Especially because like past me understood, right? The simplification is there's no point in making like a block of code that'll be like, do you want to delete? Because like make it different from read writing, because all three of those, the very core action required to do any of that is you have to find the file to begin with. So if you just go from that, and then under that you make the different function calls that you'll need, it makes it a lot nicer. Makes it a lot, it makes it concise. It makes it very easy to write. You're not writing the same thing 30 times. You're not making extra shit you don't need. Stuff like that. Because that's it, right? Like this function has, at its very top level, does two things. It either makes a new, well, it does, well, technically, at its very top level, it does two things. It makes a directory or it finds a directory. The next level under that is either makes a file or finds a file. And then from there, you start getting, are you just reading the file? Are you writing to the file? Are you deleting the file? And then under writing, it's like, are you adding something to the file? Are you taking something away from the file? Or both, right? Like you start stringing things out. And it starts, once you, but especially with computers, I feel like that's one of the reasons people like, when they get into the computers, they get overwhelmed because there's a lot of shit with computers. But like, everything works the same. It's break time, but I've just been yapping, so I might as well just permanently have been break time. But everything kind of just works the same with like technology and period. I've kind of yapped on this before a couple times, especially while gaming, but it feels a bit more warranted when it's like, I got a block of code sitting here, but everything has levels, and when you stop looking at the whole picture, right, and you're like, this is the cover of the book, then you open it and you go, this is chapter 1, this is chapter 2. All of a sudden, it's not as intimidating anymore, or at least it shouldn't be. It might still be, because to be honest, you could probably look at chapter 1 and go, what the fuck is this? Chapter 2. Oh no. It's like that meme, right? where the guy's going through the test paper and he's like, "Oh, not good. Maybe next page will be better." Flips. Oh, very not good. Flips. Oh, even worse. Like that's completely valid reaction. Honestly, when you're trying to like go through computer things, acceptable. I don't know. To me, like I grew up around computers, and like my brain kind of like works in a way of like figuring things out. So it's like it's really easy for me to break it down mentally, right? It's like, what is this? What is this program that I'm designing do? It's on the cover. It makes a directory or it finds a directory. Chapter one, it makes a file or it finds a file. Chapter two, it reads, deletes, or writes to the file. And then chapter three, it adds, removes, or both to the specific file, like for writing to the file. And it's just like that's what it does. That's all the levels. Everything else is just the pages in between, right? Like for the pages, you got like the pages, you got the cover, and then you got the little intro parts. Then you have chapter one. Then you have all the pages in chapter one. Then you have chapter two. Then you have all the pages in chapter two. Then you have chapter three. And then in this case, then you have the end of the book. It's just a 3-chapter book. It's really not that complicated. And so once you tackle things like that, it becomes a lot easier. To be fair, to get to that point takes a lot of like figuring out. But a lot of that is you kind of just toss shit on paper and then see what sticks and then carry on from there with whatever you're gonna do. I don't know, it's pretty good though. I enjoy it. It's a fun process. Which, if there's something that I'm gonna try to get work for is hopefully something I can at least enjoy the process of doing. Alright. But I need to go figure out dinner. So probably just end a little early. Tonight will be tonight I'll decide whether or not I want to like suffer more. Kind of a big one. Depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Because I think we basically finished all of the non-BR stuff for the BP missions. So that means I need to do like the battle royale, and I honestly don't know if I want to play the battle royale, especially solo. But we'll figure it out. Anyway, there's a Discord for anybody who'd like to join in and hang out. Right now, mostly just a bunch of gacha talk for Granblue, but I do plan on uploading or like putting the programs as I finish them up onto the Discord for easy access. But we're gonna say to Eru. He's pretty sure ranking in Apex. Crazy. But thank you everybody for watching. I do appreciate it. If it's early in day for you, hope you have a good day. If it's late in day for you, hope you rest well. Stay safe, stay hydrated. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye bye.